If you've been feeling really restless recently, like you're trying to break free from something that's constricting you, chase something bigger, or just move away from where you are, move out of stagnation, you're not alone. There's actually a cosmic reason why you are feeling that way. Mars, the planet of ego, action, drive, courage, has entered adventurous Sagittarius. And so for the next few weeks, there is one key question to consider in all of our lives. And that's, what are you here to do that actually matters? And let's be very clear, this isn't about adding another 2 pages to your to-do list. It's about reconnecting with your why, the fire in your belly, the thing that gets you up in the morning, the one thing that makes you pursue things that are bigger than any of your fears. And that is exactly what I'm going to help you do in this very video. I'm going to show you exactly how to use this restless energy to not just run back and forth from thing to thing and look for distractions, but instead transform it into purpose-driven action that is going to help you build the life you truly want to live. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Chrissy and I bring out fresh videos every week talking you through current planetary transits and most importantly how you can use them to improve your life, to become a better version of yourself and to live your life as the highest, best, most evolved and most aligned and most peaceful version of yourself. Quick reminder as well, in this channel, we talk about how to apply astrology for personal growth and for self-mastery in general, but I do also have a completely free bi-weekly newsletter called Manifestology, where we discuss about how to use planetary transits, current cosmic energies, and the astrology of the now using cosmic timing to help you manifest your very, very best life. It's where I share all of my manifestation tips that I've learned from over a decade studying this and share them with you completely free at the best possible time for you to start utilizing and to start practicing them. So if you haven't signed up yet, do check out the link in the description box below where you can sign up completely free. So first of all, let's talk about what Mars in Sagittarius truly means. This entire section is going to be very applicable to those who were born with Mars in Sagittarius, but over the coming weeks, we all get to tap into some of this energy as Mars is currently transiting through Sagittarius. And I'll put the dates up on the screen here for you so you know exactly when that's going to be. But Mars is the planet of drive, of ambition, of ego. It's the part of us that wants to take action, that isn't happy with sitting still, that wants to do things, make things, create things, move, create action, essentially. Sagittarius is the sign of the freedom seeker, of the wisdom seeker, of the adventurer. So when these two combine, they make for a very potent combination. Mars in any fire sign, it becomes very, very potent. And in the sign of Sagittarius, this means that all of our actions, we have this desire to take action, but only from a place of meaning and from a place of purpose. We are not happy with just keeping busy, with just doing stuff for the sake of ticking it off our to-do list. The things that we do have to create something that is bigger and that is better. They have to create a better life. We want to live from the biggest and best version of ourselves and take action from that biggest and best version of ourselves. Mars in Sagittarius makes people adventurous and optimistic. People born with Mars in Sagittarius tend to see opportunities where other people see obstacles. It makes us restless and hungry for new experiences and new ways of looking at the world, ways of challenging the status quo. It also makes us very passionate about our beliefs. When there is something there we see wisdom in, that we see truth in, that we identify with, we are willing to fight for these things. We're willing to fight for our philosophy. We're willing to fight for our beliefs, not just to talk about them. Mars and Sagittarius natives do tend to be quite impulsive and very spontaneous. They love a surprise trip, a surprise getaway, a surprise party, which I know not everybody is particularly fond of. And they are also fiercely independent individuals who do need to have a sense of freedom, a sense of being able to move in any direction that they want to move about. They don't like feeling restricted. They don't like this feeling of what others would call safety. To them will be restriction and limitation. And what happens during a Mars in Sagittarius transit is that many people experience this restlessness, this kind of antsy feeling, this not being able to sit still, just feeling like you want to do something, but you can't quite figure out what it is. And so this restlessness isn't necessarily a problem to fix, but it is a clue that something is out of alignment. And this restlessness isn't necessarily a problem to fix, but it is a clue that something isn't quite right. Something isn't giving us that kind of satisfaction, that what we are keeping busy with in our life doesn't really fill us with meaning. It doesn't give us this sense of expansion that we're after, and ultimately is not what our soul is calling us to do. So there are three distinct ways in which this restlessness could manifest. You may experience only one of them, or you may experience a combination, or perhaps even all three. The first one being actual physical restlessness. This one feels like you literally can't sit still. You get fidgety, you get antsy, you get these like nervous movements in your body because your body is craving change and it's craving movement. So perhaps that is because you've been too sedentary and you've just, especially for those of us who work office jobs, who work at a computer all day, we're sat down and our bodies just crave this movement. But usually it's not just the fact that we crave movement, we also crave movement outdoors, in new surroundings, or in new ways that we haven't moved before. So this is also a very good clue that maybe your life has just been a little bit too routine-based recently. If every single day looks the same, eventually your body will crave a different type of movement, a different type of environment, a different level of exertion than what you usually give it. And the medicine for that is pretty obvious. I mean, the easiest way to remedy that is to literally just go for a walk. Go for a walk around the block, go for a walk around your office, go for a walk in your neighborhood, or even better, go on a little adventurous walk, go on a walk to somewhere you haven't been before. Plan an outdoor activity, go on a hike rather than a walk, go on a swim, do some kind of new adventurous outdoor activity, try cycling, mountain biking, anything that will take you out of your routine, anything that you have been feeling a little bit of a pull towards, oh, I really want to try that out. And that can also be something like a new exercise class that pushes you out of your comfort zone a little bit, that is maybe in a new area. Any kind of active exploration, whether that's exploration of your surroundings or exploration of your own body, will truly help with this kind of physical restlessness if you're experiencing that. Then we have intellectual restlessness, and this is when it feels like your mind is hungry. Feels like small talk with other people becomes literally unbearable because you want to go deeper, you want to be intellectually stimulated, you want to learn something new, you want to discuss interesting new novel concepts with people rather than talk about the same old boring stuff. You may also find yourself just feverishly swiping through social media, hoping that you will find this one thing that draws you in, that gives you that hit, but nothing really does, because it is essentially like living on a fast food diet when you're just swiping through social media. Nothing is truly intellectually stimulating and fulfilling enough that you can find on there. And what that's telling you is that your worldview has essentially become too narrow. You have found yourself or are on the way to finding yourself in this sort of echo chamber where the same information and the same opinions and the same beliefs are just voiced over and over. And what your mind is craving is different perspectives, learning something new, intellectual stimulation. And the remedy for that is to, well, ideally take a course or a class in something that is new to you, that may introduce you to new belief systems. Read a book, whether fiction or non-fiction, in a genre or from an author that you would never normally pick. Maybe even go to a bookshop and tell the person who works there what you would normally read and ask them, pick something out for me that is totally off that is completely in a different area, in a different genre, in a completely different ballpark. They don't even come close. And challenge yourself to read that. Maybe explore some new philosophies or explore some new spiritual practices. This isn't necessarily the sign of committing to any of that, but we want to explore, and we want to truly explore with our minds. And then finally, there is spiritual restlessness. And this one feels a lot less active like the other one. So with the other two versions, there is this kind of almost nervous undercurrent underneath them. With spiritual restlessness, it feels more like you are just going through the motions. Nothing really brings you joy anymore. Nothing really excites you anymore. Everything is just, it's not bad, but it's all a bit meh. And you might notice that time seems to be going really, really fast and kind of slipping through your fingers, and you don't even know where the days and the weeks and the months are going. Like, you still feel like it's only just been Christmas 2024. Where has the time gone? That's also an experience of spiritual restlessness. And the reason it feels like that is often because you've just drifted away from your purpose. You've drifted away from what is meaningful, what is in alignment with what your soul actually wants you to be doing. You are essentially living somebody else's definition of success, which doesn't align with what your true individual definition of success is. You're living somebody else's dream. And the only way to remedy that one is going to be a lot of introspection, a lot of asking yourself the big question, a lot of writing down your actual values, not letting anybody else interfere with that, but writing down what truly matters to you, and writing down your big picture vision without getting scared of it, without trying to tone it down to keep other people happy and pacified, without drowning in the yes, but this isn't possible because so-and-so, leaving all of that out and truly reconnecting with what matters to you. That's going to be the only way that you can remedy that type of restlessness. So we've talked about how for Mars in Sagittarius, we want to take action, but we want to take action that aligns with our purpose, that aligns with our bigger vision and with our bigger goals. But the million-dollar question in that is, of course, well, what if I don't know what my purpose is? What if I'm really, really struggling to figure it out? Well, here are 3 tips to help you figure out maybe not necessarily what your purpose is, but what you can do to take you that step closer. Because a lot of the time our purpose evolves over time. It's not really something that's stagnant. Very rarely will we have the same purpose that we had at age 3 as we do at age 63. These things change, we grow and we evolve. But also many of us have more than one purpose. We're multidimensional and multifaceted beings, so we also have many different purposes, but you will know when you are following the right path and when things just start clicking into place. So here is how to get on that much more joyful journey of flowing with your intention and with your own personal blueprint rather than against it. And the first and very, very important step in this process is to ask yourself the grand vision question. And that is, if I could create anything in my life, what would it be? Very important with this question is, do not censor yourself. Do not limit yourself. Do not think about how this could or could not happen. Don't worry about that part. Literally imagine somebody is handing you a magic wand, and that magic wand can be waved and you can create anything you want. What is that thing? What is that thing you're creating? What is that life you are creating with this magic wand? If it's making you feel happy and a little bit gleeful and a little bit giggly on the inside, perfect. That's exactly the kind of energy and the kind of vibe that you want to go for. And you know what? If it's a bit unrealistic, even better, because we want to truly tap into this Mars and Sagittarius energy. We want to use it to take us to new steps that we didn't think were previously possible. And in order to do that, we do have to be a little bit unrealistic with our dreams and with our goals. You know, there's that really good level of delusion that works really, really well in manifesting anything you want. There's overly delusional, but there's that like golden level of delusion that we want to tap into with this exercise. The second step is to audit your values, because Mars in Sagittarius will take action for things that align with our own personal values. And everybody's personal values are different, and that's great. But you need to be clear on what your values actually are. Don't just subscribe to the standard values that your family or your teachers or your bosses or your cultural environment have just imprinted upon you, because then they're not values. You don't truly value them if you've just copied them from somebody else. You only value them if they come from within, if you truly believe in them. What are you willing to stand up and fight for? You're not going to stand up and fight for something that somebody has told you should care about, but you don't really. You just feel like they'll be mad at you if you don't. So what do you believe in so deeply that you're willing to fight for it? Is it justice? Is it freedom? Is it connection? Is it community? Is it creativity? Whatever comes to mind. What is it that when you see it violated, you feel righteously angry? You feel like it is your responsibility to step up and do something about this, because you're not willing to tolerate a world where that value is not honored or doesn't exist. Because your purpose lives somewhere at the intersection of that big picture vision that we've just created in the previous step and the things that you truly value. Where these two meet, that is where your purpose lives. That is where your rocket fuel lives. That is where your power comes from. You cannot create lasting motivation without having both. And then the next step is the adventure inventory. Because, you know, Sagittarius is the sign of freedom and exploration. So your purpose should not feel like this rigid thing. It shouldn't feel like a prison sentence. It should feel like a really exciting quest that you're going on. So ask yourself, what makes me feel really excited? What was the last thing that you got really excited about? And what was it about that thing that created this excitement within you? What is something that you can just get lost in for hours and hours, and time just disappears and becomes something else, and you become something else? What kind of experiences make you feel expanded, like they are giving you energy? Not just physical energy, but like an energy on like a much deeper level, this kind of fulfillment energy. What kind of things do that for you? And we want to think really broadly about this as well, because it's very important to just make it clear that, you know, your purpose is not your job title. For some people it can be, but for many people it's not. For many people, the work that they do to make money and their actual purpose in life can be two completely different things. But when you are following your purpose and living from your purpose, then everything else in life, including your job, will flow a lot easier and a lot better. It's the energy that you bring to everything that you do. And then the final step is the truth test. And this is where we're going to be brutally honest with ourselves and look at whether we are following our own dreams or somebody else's dreams. Because Sagittarius energy has an incredible ability to detect anything that is inauthentic. If somebody is just spewing stuff that they don't fully believe in, and they might not even know that they don't fully believe it, a Sagittarius will be able to spot that from a mile away. So this is the time to truly sit down and review your goals. Be brutally honest about whether these are truly your goals, whether this is something that really excites you or that you think will look good on paper. Is this something you want to achieve or do for the sake of doing or achieving it, or because you think that it will open the door to something else further down the line? So for example, let's say you want a degree in psychology. Do you really want a degree in psychology because psychology fascinates you and you really want to dive deep into that subject and you love it and just pulls you in and you lose track of time? It's something that you really love to dig into. Or do you want to get a degree in psychology because you think that that's the only way to do something else that you want to do? Perhaps you want to become a therapist for others. And then also think yourself, why do you want to become a therapist? Do you actually want to become a therapist, or do you think that that's a fairly good way to make money? And if you can make a lot of money, then you can buy yourself experience A, B, C, and D. Because if it's the latter, then you don't need the psychology degree. You don't need to become a therapist. You just want experiences A, B, C, and D. So where else are you following rules that somebody else has told you have to be followed, but that might not necessarily be true, but that might just be an expression of their own limited worldview? Because Mars in Sagittarius is the time to break up with those rules, to break up with those beliefs, and to break up with those goals that don't truly belong to you because they are not authentic to you. Okay, so now that we've taken those steps to identify your purpose, or at least get just that step closer to it, now we're going to talk about how to turn restlessness into meaningful action. Step one, take action. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not the perfect time, if you don't have all of the information, it doesn't matter. Sagittarius is all about spontaneity, about the impulsivity. So just do something. Book the trip, apply for the job, sign up for the certification. Whatever it is, just take one step. Even if you don't know the full path yet, the point is not to know the entire path. The point is to get going. The point is to be one step further away from that status quo that's been suffocating you and to move towards a better life of freedom and expansion. Mars in Sagittarius rewards courage, not perfection. Don't let perfect be the enemy of done. Number two, expand your horizons. Explore. If you want to gain more certainty on what that thing is that drives you, what that thing is that brings you towards your purpose, then you have to get out of your comfort zone. Then you have to go to new places that you don't normally go to. You have to have conversations with new people that you don't normally talk to. You have to be open to subjects, to activities, to events that you don't normally go to, because if your purpose was to be found at any of those things you always do, then you would have already found it. But if you haven't, then you need to expand. You need to expand your search. You need to expand your field of vision. Number three, move your body in new, novel, adventurous ways. We've already touched on that a little bit earlier, but Mars craves movement. In pretty much any sign that it's in, it just craves a different kind of movement depending on the sign. And in Sagittarius, it craves adventure. It wants to go on hikes and climb the mountains. It wants to dive deep into the sea. It wants to go skiing. It wants to go mountain biking. It wants to go skydiving. It wants to do all of those adrenaline-fueled things that make you see the world in a different way, that expand you, that make you move your body in new and different ways. And what that's going to unlock is you start doing this physically, and then you start unlocking this mentally, and then you start unlocking this spiritually as well. It all has a knock-on effect. Another strategy to turn this restlessness into action that will make positive progress in your life is to stop holding back and to be more outspoken about that which you truly value and believe in. Because none of these things that you are dreaming about are going to come about if you keep hiding them. There is a time and place to when you're manifesting something new, when it's kind of in the early baby stages, there is a time and place to nurture that and to keep it safe from other people's criticism and other people's doubts about what you are trying to achieve. But you can't do that forever. At some point, you do have to speak out. You do have to speak out for what you believe in. You do have to be authentic, not just in your thoughts, but also in your words towards other people and in your actions. So do share that vision, do share those insights that you have gained, and absolutely share them with somebody that you trust first. Share them with somebody who's close, who's not likely to judge you before you share it with, somebody who might not have your best interests at heart. But share it, say it out loud, make it real by speaking it out into the world. Ask for the things that you actually want directly rather than hinting at them and hoping the other person gets the hint eventually and then getting frustrated when they don't. Sagittarius is known and is often criticized for being a bit blunt, for not really mincing their words and just saying things as they are without maybe so much thought for the consequences. But for many of us, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we often hold ourselves back so much that we almost feel apologetic about being where we are. So do take up that space. Do ask for what you want, because what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone will say no, and then they'll forget about the fact that you even asked 5 minutes later. Don't be distasteful, don't be tactless, but do stand up for yourself, because this transit truly encourages that. Finally, one of the most important ones is to commit to the journey, not the destination. Because as we said, Sagittarius is about the adventure. And the adventure isn't just the final chapter. The quest is the very, very final part where you reach the goal and that's it, you celebrate and that's the end. It wouldn't be much of an adventure. The adventure is the way to it. Make the way towards your goal a journey, the journey there, fun in and of itself. Whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, that you are trying to manifest, that you are trying to bring into your life, there has to be a way that the path towards getting there can be fun for you. If your goal is to become a master swimmer, but you hate the water and you hate swimming and you don't want to be anywhere near the water ever, and you can't see yourself enjoying training to become a master swimmer, then you won't. You're not gonna. You have to be able to enjoy the journey. And oftentimes you will find that as you look back, the journey is the more enjoyable part than the actual climbing the peak and achieving the goal. You want to fall in love with the process of growth, with the person that you are becoming by stepping out on this journey, not just the person that you hope to be at the end. This kind of way of looking at things will also help you to see any setbacks as challenges to overcome, rather than this terrible disaster or a sign that this is clearly not meant for you. Because this is something that a lot of people get wrong, in that they think that once you've found your purpose, everything gets easy and everything is always fun all of the time. And it's just not like that. It would be really boring if it was easy all the time. And it may be fun most of the time, but not always. Example I give you, if any of you have ever tried to learn to play an instrument, at the beginning, you're just a bit crap. You're just not very good. The sounds that you're making are not very good. Your rhythm is off. Your hands are getting confused, and you may find yourself getting really frustrated with yourself. And it's not fun at that point. And certainly not easy at that point. But the fun comes back when you stick with it. And when all of a sudden you notice that you can do things that a couple of weeks ago you couldn't. And you get that sense of satisfaction from it, that you see the sense of progression and you see the sense of growth. It's the same with many physical activities that you can't do at first. And it's not fun when you can't do them. It's fun at the very beginning. And then you get into this valley of despair, I think it's been called in some models, where the initial excitement has gone away and you're not making enough progress to keep it fun. You feel like you're stagnating for a while and you just got to push on through it, and then it gets fun again as you get better and better and you can see your progress. And it's exactly the same with your purpose. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be easy, certainly not. But looking back, you will be able to see those challenges as fun once you're on the other side of them. So here are 3 quick practical tools that you can use while Mars is in Sagittarius to make the most out of this transit. Number 1, very important one, is to have a daily purpose check-in. To ask yourself, what's one action I can take today that takes me just one step closer to my purpose? And if I'm still not sure about what my purpose is, what is one step I can take today to take me closer to discovering my purpose? And this doesn't have to be anything big. Some days you will be inspired to do something big. Most days it will be something small, and that's totally fine. You just want to make sure that you keep moving every day. Keep moving the needle, even if it's just by 1% every day. And over time that will accumulate and result in massive, massive progress. Number 2, get adventurous with your journaling. If you've got any travel planned during this time, make a travel log. This can be digital or this can be pen and paper. You can even make a scrapbook, get creative with some physical materials, whatever is calling to you. But you want to truly get those experiences and those impressions that you have from doing something new out onto paper or onto some kind of digital medium, or even record yourself in a voice note, because that will keep that enthusiasm for growing and learning and discovering new things going. Next time you're going to want to do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone and you feel like there's something holding you back a little bit, you could go back and you can revisit those positive experiences of how well things went for you when you pushed yourself a little bit and how fun it was in the end, even if it seemed a little scary at first. So do document those experiences so you can have them and utilize them as your own tool for later on. And the third one is movement meditation. So if you do feel like restlessness is hitting you, go outside, go for a walk. Try doing it without having some music on or without listening to a podcast or an audiobook. Try to just truly pay attention to what's around you. Or alternatively, put a great song on and dance it out. Just reconnect with your body and be mindful with the way that you are moving your body. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the benefits of Mars in Sagittarius, but of course every transit has its shadow sides as well. So here are some common pitfalls to look out for and also what to do to avoid them. Reckless impulsivity. Mars in Sagittarius makes us very spontaneous, very impulsive, and that can go up to a degree where it becomes reckless, where we start burning bridges, where we don't think about the consequences because we want to go, go, go. So the key to avoiding this is to, be bold, but don't be destructive. What you are doing should bring you a feeling of expansion, not of destruction. It should increase your options and increase your possibilities, not open up some and then close a bunch of others. You truly want to be using your heart and your head. Don't forget about using your logical mind as well. Second challenge is blunt communication. So Sagittarius energy, when unhealed or when not used skillfully, can become rather preachy. And that is especially the case with Mars in Sagittarius. There can be this enthusiasm about the things you have learned and the new way that you see the world that can make us want to force that onto other people. And the thing is, people will only learn what is right for them, and they will only learn what they are ready to learn. And even if in your view, if only they would get this one thing that you have just gotten and that's totally changed your life, you can see how much better the life would be, you have to leave them to it, because until they're ready to see it, they will not see it. And the only thing you're going to do by becoming more pushy is drive a deeper and deeper wedge into your relationship with them. So do speak your truth, But don't forget to give people space as well and to be kind. The third challenge is scattered energy. Most fire signs really love starting things, but they don't necessarily love finishing them as much. That's more of a thing for the earth signs, for your Tauruses and your Capricorns and your Virgos. So Mars in Sagittarius can get easily distracted by all of the nice new shiny objects, and everything is excited and you want to try everything. But when you try everything and you scatter your energy too broadly, then you cannot go deep enough into anything for it to become meaningful. And that's the ultimate goal of it, is to become meaningful and to find meaning. So as interesting and exciting as a lot of things may sound, just focus on, let's say, 1 to 3 that keep coming back, that keep showing up in different ways in your life, or that you keep coming back to, or that just feel like they are the most potent. You don't have to completely forget about the rest. Feel free to write them down somewhere in a journal to revisit. Just park them for now so that you don't spread yourself too thin, and you can always come back to those later. But don't focus on exploring more than 1 to 3 purpose-driven things at a time. And the final challenge is restless dissatisfaction. And this is something that can often happen when we are on an adventure. An adventure can quickly become a chase, where we're constantly chasing the next thing, chasing the next goal, chasing the next milestone, chasing the next achievement. And we completely forget to enjoy the journey on the way, and we completely forget to appreciate what we have and the beautiful views that we get to see along the way. So to remedy that, make sure that you make gratitude for where you are right now a part of your daily process, so you don't forget to enjoy the journey, because chances are a year from now you're going to be totally unrecognizable from where you are right now, and you'll look back to where you are right now and you won't believe how far you have already come. And you might kick yourself if you didn't spend enough time actually appreciating the journey to where you're going. So finally, let's move on to the integration. There are a few things in different areas of our lives that this transit is going to be particularly beneficial for. For your career, that's going to be launching anything that is bold and new, taking charge of new projects, or perhaps reorienting yourself in your career towards something that brings you more meaning, towards more meaningful work. It's a great time to pitch any new ideas or to ask for what you feel you truly deserve in your current role. And it's also a very fruitful time to take calculated risk. So be careful with any spontaneous ideas that come about, but if it's something that's been stirring for a while and you feel that this is a good time to go for it, go for it. For your relationships, this is a very potent time to make long-term plans, to make sure that you and your partner are aligned on any kind of long-term visions, on your basic values and where you see your lives together going in the long term. It's also a great time to plan some adventures together, to plan some travels, some vacations, some holidays. And it's also a very good time to give each other a little bit of space so that you can grow as individuals and then reconnect again with each other and share your experiences with each other and inspire each other after you've had that time to grow individually. And for your personal growth, this is the perfect time to step out of your comfort zone, to do the thing that has been scaring you just that little bit for a while, and to see how much you can grow by overcoming that fear. It's a very good time to start questioning your values and your goals, like we've discussed earlier in this video. And it is the perfect time to embrace your authentic self unapologetically. So here's the thing about restlessness. Restlessness is your soul's refusal to settle for a life that is smaller than your potential, that is smaller than what you came here to do. that energy is just asking to be put towards something greater, something more beautiful, something more expansive. Mars in Sagittarius is not really here to make you feel comfortable. It's here to make you live life to the fullest with passion, with purpose, and with the joy of adventure and expansion. And so in that way, the restlessness is not a problem. It's just life saying, hey, you've got more to discover, you have more to do here, and you have more to become. And all of that spare energy from the restlessness is only asking to be channeled, to give you the courage to chase the life that you actually want. Not other people, not society, not your family, not your friends, not what you see on Instagram, but what truly matters to you. The time to wait is over. The time to wonder what might be one day is over. And the time to play small is over. This is the transit to reconnect you with your inner why and to lead you towards the life that you are actually meant to live. So, the adventure is calling. Will you answer? I want to hear from you in the comments. What is one bold action, big or small, that you are going to take this week to take you one step closer to your purpose? And let's share and let's inspire each other and support each other in the comments. If you would like to dive a little deeper, if you would like some help discovering your purpose, whether that is your purpose through your vocation or your purpose through your relationships or your purpose through the philosophy of your life, then your natal chart holds the answers to all of those. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me where we can go deep into that. It is one of the topics that I specialize in. So do check out the link for a booking in the description bar below. So I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye. Hey.